repetition is what's important, and repetition is what turns your thoughts into reality, what turns your thoughts into a manifestation. But it's not true just because you thought it or because somebody else said it. But you can allow it to be true if you let it stay. This is the Energy Within podcast, all about accessing, nurturing, and building your energy and confidence so that you can design your life the way you want. My name is Carrie Jokala. I am your host. I am a Reiki practitioner, a fitness instructor, a wife, a mom to 2 little boys, and this is the first solo episode I've done in a little bit. It's been a lot of interviews. And while I'm loving sharing all of the interviews with you, and I have a lot more coming that I can't wait to share, I got stuff I want to say too. So I wanted to insert a little bit of myself back in. So I decided to release a quick, short, special episode for you so you can hear from me again. And I can get my thoughts out there. And I'll probably make a post to go along with this on social media, I'm sure. But I was just going to make a post on this topic, and then I'm like, I can't just write it. It's going to be too long. It's going to be maybe a little confusing if I just try to write it. Maybe I should do a live video. And then I'm like, no, I want to do a podcast. This will be my podcast topic. So I know I've mentioned a lot in the past, if you've been following this podcast at all for any length of time, you may have heard me mention Cathy Heller, who hosts the Don't Keep Your Day Job podcast. She runs a program called Made to Do This, which I have not been a part of, but I would love to be. But she runs 5-day challenges all the time leading up to each time she launches that program. And right now, she's running that 5-day challenge. And she said something that I was going to turn into a quote because it stuck out to me. So I took a note, I wrote it down, and I was all like, yeah. And then I thought about it some more, and I'm like, wait. So I want to talk it out. So today might be a little bit disjointed. Stay with me. I want to know your thoughts. So give me your feedback. Let me know what you think about this. And you can share on the posts that I make on Instagram and Facebook. I'll probably put it in my group as well, The Energy Within. So if you're not in that group, please jump in. But she said, just because you think it does not make it true. And my first reaction, like I said, was, yeah, because a lot of what I've been learning in some meditation courses that I've been taking, meditation teacher courses, you are not your thoughts. And that's one of the first things that you want to go into meditation understanding is you are not your thoughts. That's how you teach yourself to sit back and observe your thoughts rather than hopping on all of those negative trains and riding them all the way down into the abyss. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are just thoughts. But what stopped me from just jumping on making that post and just going along with that was, well, there's more to this. At first, yes, that is true. You are not your thoughts, and just because you think it does not make it true. However, if you continue to think it, it will be true. So I don't say that to scare you and be like, wait a second. But it really is true. I don't know if any of you have downloaded, I don't even know if I still have it up. I think I do. My Affirmations Workbook. If you don't have it, you can download it for free. I believe the link is in the show notes. I'll double check. But I talk a little bit in there about how it is possible to change the way that you think about yourself. Obviously using affirmations because it's an affirmations workbook. But I think that we tend to think that if we have these negative thoughts about ourselves, it's too hard to change it. I can't turn it around. I think this way about myself, and me telling myself that I'm beautiful, that I'm smart, that I can trust myself, that I'm going to be successful, or that I have abundance, whatever, it's not going to work because I know it's a lie and I just can't believe myself. But repetition is what's important, and repetition is what turns your thoughts into reality, what turns your thoughts into a manifestation. The other thing I keep hearing from people that I follow is that we are always manifesting. It's just a matter of if we are aware that we're manifesting and what we're manifesting. If you look at someone who tends to have a negative mindset, well, of course it turned out this way. Of course this didn't work out. It could be, and it probably is, because you're always thinking that way. So you're putting that out into the universe, and the universe says, okay, and it makes it happen. There's no judgment there. It's just that that's what you're putting out. So that's what the universe gives you. It's not to say that every time you have a positive thought, or even every time that you have a negative thought, that it's immediately going to happen. But if you're constantly thinking that way, you have a higher chance of either the negative or the positive manifesting. So which one do you want to manifest? But going back to turning your thoughts around, if you're thinking negative thoughts about yourself, if you look at yourself in a negative light, in that Affirmations Workbook, I ask you to go back and think back to a time when you likely didn't think of yourself that way. Maybe you met somebody, maybe something happened, maybe somebody said something, maybe somebody constantly says something to you that in the beginning you knew wasn't true. Your first reaction was, that's not true. That's not me. That's not who I am. But then maybe you heard it so many times from somebody else that you internalized it and you made that your own thought. And now you think that way about yourself. Well, there's evidence right there that you changed the way you think about yourself. If you did not think about yourself in that negative light before at one point in your life, and now you do, you changed your thoughts. So if you can change them from positive to negative, tell me why you can't change them from negative to positive. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it happens at the flip of a switch, although it could. I think it could if you really, really wanted it to. And I don't mean to dismiss anything like depression or anything else that does get in the way of you being in control of your thoughts. So please know that. But I do think on some level that we do have the ability to quickly turn it around. But we are also human. So we do also need to give ourselves grace and not give up if it doesn't change instantly. To allow ourselves that time, to allow that repetition, to make those thoughts become true if those are the thoughts that you want to be true. So there's the extension. Just because you think it does not make it true. So if something pops into your head once, if someone says something to you and then you start to take it and you catch yourself starting to internalize it, hopefully you catch it right away. But it's not true just because you thought it or because somebody else said it. But you can allow it to be true if you let it stay. So closely examine what you're letting stay in your head, what thoughts you're allowing to stay in your head. What story are you telling yourself? And I'm talking to myself right now. I am not perfect at this at all. I still have negative thoughts about myself all the freaking time. If you look at some of the reels that I've done on Instagram, particularly the one about pleading with the universe, when you feel like you're doing all the things, you're doing all the work, and nothing's manifesting. Come on, I'm baby stepping, I'm doing the work. Why is it happening for other people and not for me? I'm not perfect. But what I'm trying to do in my own personal journey is continually remind myself the same things that I keep saying on every post that I make, that you are in control of your own life. You're in control of your thoughts. You're in control of what you manifest. You are in control of what your life looks like. Ultimately, at the end of the day, maybe you can't control all the little details. We can't control outside circumstances. We can't control what other people do. We can't control what other people say. But we control what we allow in. We control what we internalize. No one else has any say on that. It's your life. It's your mind. So what do you want to be true about you? What thoughts would you like to think that you would like to make true? Start thinking those thoughts. And I want to encourage you to go back to the interview I did with Belle. I'm going to say her last name wrong. I want to say Lockerbie. I apologize if I said it incorrectly, because I love Belle. She's an amazing person. She has a beautiful Australian accent. But she was talking in her interview about how she started doing affirmations, but she was so far removed from what she actually wanted to think. It was too big of a leap to start telling herself that she was beautiful or that she was confident. So she started off literally looking in the mirror and saying things like, I have hair, because it was the most true thing that she was comfortable telling herself at that point. So start there. If that's where you're at, start there. Take a cue from Belle and just look in the mirror. Find something that you see about yourself that is true and that is nice, and start saying that to yourself. And then you can start taking more baby steps, bigger and better and nicer things. I do believe that we really can manifest the things that we want, but it takes a very high level of trust depending on what it is that you want to manifest. If you want to manifest a cup of coffee, that's really easy because it doesn't take a lot of work to get a cup of coffee, whether you make it at home or you go buy it. And I was thinking about that the other day with the restaurant reference. If you've ever heard that in relation to manifesting, when you go to a restaurant, you place your order with the waiter, you sit down and, flip that. You sit down, you place your order with the waiter, and then hopefully you're not the person who keeps bugging the waiter, but the normal person will sit down, continue having their conversation with their friends or whoever they're with, and you just trust that your food is going to show up and it's going to be exactly what you ordered. You don't worry about it. You just know that it's going to come. And if you look at manifesting that way, it changes the whole process. Like, oh, you mean I can just put my order in and then forget about it and just trust? To a certain level, yes. I do believe there is always work to be done. You can't just sit on the couch and be like, I'm going to manifest $1 million. It's not going to show up. You do have to take some action. But even if you don't believe in manifestation, come with me on the idea that if you put in the work, you set the intention, you keep your eyes on the vision, and you keep working towards what you want, you're going to make it happen. You're going to manifest it. Manifesting a cup of coffee versus overhauling your life and manifesting a new home, a new career, a new car, a new way of feeling peace in your life. It's going to take a little longer, which also reminded me of a couple of reels that I've shared. I can't think of his name. Maybe I'll share the link in the show notes so you can go look him up. He's a comedian. And he had some reels about servers and hosts in particular in restaurants feeling very stressed out right now, being very busy, but understaffed. And one of his reels was, here I am describing something to you that you need to watch. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'll post the link and then you can go look it up. But things not to ask your waiter. He comes up to the table and it's like, okay, that table got their food before you? Okay, did you even think about this for 1 second? No, you didn't. So they got salads. Okay, you guys got steaks. Yours going to take longer, right? Think about it for 1 second. It's going to take longer. They got salads. You got steaks. The difference in what you're trying to manifest, some things are going to take longer. So I'm giving myself a message right now. Some things are going to take longer. A stupid patience message that keeps coming up. God bless it. But you still have to have that level of trust there. And it takes work. It takes time. But it can happen if you continue to hold the vision, to set the intention, to keep your vibration high, and to do the freaking work. I think I ended up talking about a lot more than I intended to on this episode. But I hope it was helpful. I hope it made sense. Please let me know your thoughts. So chime in either on the post that I make that goes along with this, jump into my group, the energy within. The link is in the show notes. And let me know. What do you think? What are you thinking? What thoughts are you internalizing that you don't want to keep anymore? What's not serving you? And speaking of getting rid of things that aren't serving you anymore, I bet you know what I'm going to say that can help you with that. A Reiki session. If you haven't done a Reiki session with me yet, I highly, highly encourage you to. So many women have been having mind-blowing, transformative sessions with me. And I'm just so blessed and honored to be a part of this journey. I invite you to go to my website and take a look at the testimonials that I've posted there. And I have a few more that I want to get up there as well. But there's just a sense of clarity, peace, a level of transformation, just being able to put the puzzle pieces together, and in some cases, realizing what's holding you back, what you need to get rid of. I even had someone just the other day during a group Reiki session got the message that everything's going to be okay. And then we did some card pulls and we affirmed that even further. I always include a card pull with your Reiki session. So if you have any questions on what Reiki is or how it can help you, I want to try to go into more detail at some point, but really literally anything. You can give Reiki to physical things that are going on, to emotional things that are going on, to help open up your intuition, your third eye, your crown, to help give you better feelings of security and groundedness, to boost your confidence. We can send Reiki to situations, things that have happened in the past or things that you're concerned about, or even things that you're looking forward to. It doesn't have to be something you're worried about. Things that are going to happen in the future that you just want some extra energy, some extra good energy to help go well. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I would so love to help you. Reiki, one of the reasons that I love doing it so much is that I know that I'm able to help people on a soul level. It goes so much deeper that way. Link is in the show notes. Jump into my group if you just want to try it out. I have some group Reiki videos that I've done in that group that are pinned in the announcements. You can find them in there. You can still receive, even though it's already over. Time's not linear. So jump into the group. The link for that is in the show notes as well. That's where I'm going to wrap it up because I feel like I've started to ramble. So I hope that this was helpful. Please reach out to me and let me know. Share your thoughts. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I love you, and I will see you next time.